What is up, everybody, and welcome back to the Triple H podcast, Happy Hour Hoops, presented by Trainwreck Sports. Steve, Jake, and myself here to talk all things NBA. And guys, the New York Knicks are your NBA Cup champions.
Wow.
Electric.
Yeah, about as much as excitement as the rest of the NBA world, I feel, is probably. Yeah, they probably have a similar reaction. I mean, obviously, Knicks fans, there's some people celebrating, some people liked it if you're a Knicks fan, but I'm so done with this. I'm so done with this thing, man. I was done last week when we talked about it a little bit.
Yeah.
I was done all throughout. I was done when it meant we only had fucking 5 NBA games for a whole week. I was mad when the final game was on a Tuesday night last night.
What's up with that? Wasn't it the first year it was on a Saturday night? It was supposed to be like, big time Saturday night Vegas. Like, who wants to go to Vegas on a Tuesday night to watch this basketball game? No wonder they can't get people there. No wonder
They ended up
in
tipping at
North
9
Carolina
p.m.
next year.
Yep.
Yeah.
And the semis were on Saturday night, but the second game didn't start till like 10. So it's like, well, you're losing a lot of viewers that way too. I mean, I could go on and on about why I hate this so much, but the Knicks did beat the Spurs.
I do want you to go on and on about why you hate it. I want to hear why you hate it.
My first thing, and I guess my first thing probably has an easy counter argument, but like just the fact that it's in football season at all, I feel like you're already going up against football for the beginning of your season, just regular games to be viewed. You're introducing this foreign tournament that the average NBA fan doesn't truly fully understand. I don't even fully understand it still, and we've had it for fucking 3 years now. I don't understand why the semifinals count towards your NBA record, but the finals doesn't. So those stats in that game pretty much just disappears once the cup's over. I hate that part of it. And like I said, to backtrack a little bit, I think the counter argument to it going up against football, people would probably say, well, they're doing it at the beginning of the season to get people more interested in the tournament, and so there can be some more meaningful games at the beginning of the season, because then the end of the season is, trying to make the playoffs and all that. No, I'm good. No one cares about the cup, man. It sucks. I don't, we still haven't figured out the courts. It's been 3 years. A lot of the courts are still eyesores. We think we got a good thing coming to us because Adam Silver put the trophy logos at half court, and then he said he was going to do it for the finals this year, which was a win. But the whole thing is just dumb. I don't understand it. I don't feel really any different. I guess in the semifinals and the finals, they felt like different games compared to regular season NBA games, but not enough. And, we were talking about it at the beginning of the show before we started recording. Like, these guys are all multimillionaires. Like, sure, adding some money for an incentive is great and getting $500,000 for everyone on the team. And there's guys on the team, who probably make that as their salary, so it is good for those few guys. I understand all that. I just think it's a failing product to inject into an NBA season.
Can I tell you as simple how pointless the NBA Cup is and
Please.
How people don't care about it? The best player last night, Victor Wembanyama, came off the bench and was on a minutes limit. Yep. Imagine that in an NBA Finals game or any other championship. Think he's playing on a minutes limit? You think if this championship mattered, this was the NBA Finals, Victor Wembanyama's playing 25 minutes? Get out of here. The teams don't even care that much about it. Like you have the Spurs being like, all right, yeah, it's the NBA Cup championship, but Wemby's coming back. We got to keep him ready for the rest of the season. So we're just gonna have him come off the bench and play his minutes limit, 25 minutes. They wouldn't do that if this championship mattered. They also wouldn't do that if this championship wasn't in December. Middle of December. Yeah. We don't even know what these teams are. We're a third of the way through the season. It's just ridiculous. I don't like it for the fact that it just feels like it splits up the basketball season for the 2 weeks during the NBA Cup playoffs. I also don't like, and we talked about this last week, Dunny and Jake, and now that you're here, I'd like to get your opinion on this. I think I'd be more into the NBA Cup if it was spanned over 2 weeks. And it's here you go. Here's your round robin games every other day. And then here's the tournament. The fact that we have a month and a half spread out where, this game's NBA Cup on Wednesday night. But don't worry, the back-to-back that the Spurs Pelicans played Wednesday, the NBA Cup game, they play on Friday. But that's not a cup game. And then a week and a half later, don't worry, they have a cup game now. It's I can't follow which games are cup games, which games aren't. And it makes no sense. It doesn't keep me invested because by the time you get to maybe the third cup game these teams are playing, you don't even know what's happening. You're like, oh yeah, I forgot it's a cup game. Oh yeah, they played 2 cup games ago. Do you think any NBA fan will be able to name the 8 teams that were in the NBA Cup by the end of the season?
No,
because no one cares. The Phoenix Suns.
I can barely name it right now.
Made the NBA Cup playoffs. The Phoenix Suns. What are we doing?
It's so true too. And then the group play games, I feel like when I tune into any of those, I never know where the teams are as far as the standings goes.
Horrible
and
job
who is the favorite to make it to the semis. I feel like I'm so blind to that when I'm literally turning it on and looking at the product. Yeah. I feel like I should be getting that information from the broadcaster. There should be a graphic. Or, like you said, it should just be way more organized and it should be very easy to follow. The first year we had this, I expected shit like this. But, Adam Silver, either make it good or get rid of it because it's honestly garbage, dude. I have here in our notes, the only thing that I honestly think this is good for is for toxic fan bases to just battle back and forth, because that's all that's happened from this until today, where they're comparing the Knicks NBA Cup to the Lakers winning it, and then the Bucks were the other team that won it, I believe. I had completely forgot the other winners, so that's another point that goes to show that this is pretty meaningless. And then Adam Silver today talking about how, they might have the finals at big college locations for the future. Okay, I don't
Yeah, whatever. Do you think
Vegas, a college
venues
court
care that much? They got their big Monday college basketball games to worry about.
Right.
It
would probably be impeding on college basketball schedules now too, if we needed to ruin anything else with the NBA Cup. I will say this one last thing. Well, I'll probably say more about it, but just in this the NBA Cup made me look bad too in front of my friends because the whole not counting the finals game, but the semifinals game counting. We were watching the semifinals when I had friends over on Saturday, and we were having some beers, and I'm kind of the resident basketball guy, so they were asking me, and I was like, I can't remember for sure, but I'm pretty sure the semifinals and the finals don't count towards your record. And then we watched the Thunder lose, and then they were talking about how it's only their second loss of the season. I'm like, well, I guess I don't fucking know anything, guys, because I'm an idiot.
But what they did is that that counted towards Wemby's 65 games for the end of year awards, but it doesn't count for his actual stats. And it's just you guys are just literally making shit up as it goes now about this.
I do like that specifically.
I like it. Don't get me wrong, but it just shows how
as a Wemby MVP better.
That's true. Steve, I agree with you completely. My biggest complaint is why is it just Tuesdays and Fridays randomly during the beginning of the season? Why would you not carve out? It should be right after the Super Bowl is over, right before the All-Star break. And that's the thing too, is it's another issue. It's all Adam Silver issues is what we could talk about here, really, because the All-Star game is an issue in itself, right? And the All-Star game has always been positioned that President's Day weekend, right after the Super Bowl, thinking that that's when you can get all this attention on the NBA. You see who the stars are, you know who the great, casual fans can then see who the best players have been in the league this year, start following them along from there. They've tried to turn that thing into this whole sideshow and forgot what the whole point of the All-Star game is in itself. Put the NBA Cup the Monday after the Super Bowl. Cup weeks start. You do it for a couple weeks. You get people bought into that, and then I don't even care. Like at this point, I'd rather just have the Cup final on that All-Star Sunday than the All-Star game if they're just going to keep doing what they're doing with the All-Star game. But like, it doesn't. You're right. It doesn't make sense to do it at the beginning of the year. It doesn't make sense to have Friday. I think it's Fridays and Tuesdays are Cup days. Like, no one cares. All it matters to me is when I turn the game on, I'm like, oh, the stupid colored court is back.
Yep.
I gotta watch the Timberwolves play on this bright green court tonight. Great. We're really happy about that. The Bulls are playing on a bright red court. I hate the courts more than anything. That's my biggest gripe, is I can't stand, like, why do we make this look, why do we make the product look worse if you want people to watch these games? Like, there's so much. It's so short-sighted into what it could have been. Like, when Bill Simmons started talking about this, like, really, like, a couple years, Bill Simmons really, like, the brainchild behind this, the in-season tournament, NBA Cup, bringing it up. This is not at all what it was, like, the original idea of what people wanted it to be. Like, this is not an in-season cup that you, like, soccer teams do and everything else. Like, either you do it in a 2-week window, or you do it literally every Friday throughout the season is a cup, and then you take the playoffs at the, like, it just doesn't make sense. I guess the only thing that they want to do is have some TV spots that they could sell to Prime for the beginning of the season, and maybe it'll get a couple more people to watch. And, last night was a made for TV game. It's an extra game that they can sell off, and they probably made a ton of money off of it. But that's the problem, is there's so much NBA stuff happening that is just specifically for the almighty dollar, and this is what you get out of it, where Dunny has to watch Knicks fans all day on Twitter, raising their fake banners over the NBA Cup because of it. It's pointless. Like, I wanted to be excited about that game last night. I really did, and I just couldn't. I was just on my phone.
Yeah, it was fun to watch, like, the Spurs at full strength, even though Wemby was limited. And the Knicks, like, I know we're kind of just poo-pooing the NBA Cup, but the Knicks have been one of the hottest teams in basketball over the past 3-4 weeks. They've been unbelievable. So the Knicks are looking like they are a team that's capable of winning the East, going to an NBA Finals. Like, this is a team that looks like a championship-type team. However, I just don't care about the NBA Cup. I don't care. And I like both these teams. I like watching both these teams. I love seeing the Spurs at full strength. When you got Harper, you got Fox, you got Castle, you got Wemby. I mean, that team's unbelievable. But I think at the end of the day, if the players don't treat it like a championship, then how are the fans supposed to react to it as a championship? And when I watch these games, it does not feel like a playoff game. It does not feel like there's a little extra on the line for these players. And correct me if I'm wrong, but I just didn't see that in the players when I watched the game. It just felt like another regular Tuesday night game.
Yeah. And to me, I don't know. Of course, over a 82 game season where sports medicine's the best it's ever been, and we have guys load managing, and I know they're trying to fix that. Like, I understand the sentiment of trying to spruce up the beginning of the season and trying to get people to care for longer. Mm-hmm. I just don't think this is the way. And whatever, if you wanted to try it for 3 years, I can't imagine there's people out there who are like, oh, time for the NBA Cup, best time of year. Like, that's just, to me, there's just not basketball fans having those reactions. Jake, I did like how you mentioned Adam Silver and Bill Simmons, though, because this kind of falls into Adam Silver dropping the ball just as the NBA commission general, because obviously we have the NBA Cup, which none of the three of us like. And then you have the All-Star game, which Jake touched on too. Did you guys happen to see Silver's comments about the Terry Rozier situation and like whether teams can trade him or
I
like what
did see that. Yeah.
Yeah, so Silver says in Las Vegas that there's no obvious solution here to the trade status of Miami's Terry Rozier and calls the situation unprecedented. And Bill Simmons, he talked about it on his pod too, but he quote tweeted this and just says, "This is ridiculous. It's literally his job to decide on stuff like this," which is absolutely true. So tough year and some change to be Adam Silver, I think, and this is just one of those things for me that I think Silver can chalk this up as being one of his bad ideas. At least I see it that way. If
I don't know what good ideas he's had for the game of basketball. He's great. He's been good for the business of basketball owners, that's for sure. But for the like actual game and the sport and what the league used to be and the integrity of it, like I don't think Adam Silver has helped that at all. And it's crazy because when he got named, people had high hopes when he got named commissioner. He was more of a obviously more of a nicer guy than David Stearns, like just more personable, better, like more the media liked him, more interview and everything. But clearly, it Stern at least had a vision for what the integrity of the league needs to be, and cared about that, even if he took it a little too far sometimes. He really cared about what the game looked like and how it was presented. Adam Silver's just like, bro, like, I don't care. Throw whatever jersey. Let's do a different jersey every year. Let's do bright yellow courts. Let's play cup games on Tuesdays and give them millions of dollars. Let's have 4 all-star teams. I don't do whatever you guys want. And it's tough. It's tough because he's just, I don't know. I don't know what the dude thinks. I think he really just cares about making, and he's maxed out on the money. Don't get me wrong. And also the thing is, like, this is my last thing about Silver. Then we can go on to some real basketball stuff. My friends were texting me in a group chat the other day, and they said, this one of their friends, this a friend of a friend, had said he's a very casual basketball fan, and he's like, why can't I find the NBA on YouTube TV? He's like, why would I turn it on? There's just no NBA games on it. And that's the biggest problem too. Like with this, I really think they're getting hurt by the first year of all this streaming, because
of course they are.
People are just like, no one's going to, even if the game's on Prime, people don't want to just go sit on Prime and watch the game. People don't want to just go sit on Peacock and watch the game. They want to have the option to flip over to the game when it's fourth quarter and it's close, or the last 5 minutes and someone has 50 points. Like that's the intrigue of following the NBA online. It was having that easy access to flip back and forth between a college game and an NBA game, or whatever else you were doing that night in an NBA game. And when you have casual fans who want to go watch a game, if they're sitting at home on a Wednesday night and nothing else is on, and they flip on whatever TV package they have, and there's no basketball to be found anywhere, it's like, well, this sport, it's out of sight, out of mind. Like the sport's just gone from people's like brains at that point. You're just eliminating, like you're literally just eliminating potential fans by doing that. And I know that maybe the future is streaming, who knows? But Silver, the highlight sport thing really sticks in my head all the time, because I don't think he cares if those people want to watch the games. They'll just see the highlights on their phone. And I think that's just so short-sighted for what you are as a sport and what people really care about this sport. Because the more you take that attention from casuals away, it's going to be harder for diehards to be able to sell to their friends and their family, hey, I want to spend time and spend money on doing this, because other people they're just not going to care at all. Right. Like beyond the minimal interest they had or casual interest they had is just going to be gone. And that hurts diehards' interest in it too. Then we're turning, like, no offense to the NHL, then you're turning into hockey, where it's basketball fans screaming to nobody about how great their sport is, and everybody's be like, yeah, whatever. Like that's the alienation I'm worried about with all these different trends of the NBA, and it's one dude that's done it all, in my opinion. So that's my Adam Silver rant.
No, you're right. I don't think the NBA this year has been great for catering to the casual fan, because even when there is a game maybe on YouTube TV or ESPN or something, but there's a game on some other channel, you just can't watch them in the same spot. And it's really like you're either watching your team and you're locked in and you're watching your team and you're a diehard, like you said, that way, or you're just occasionally catching a game that happens to be on cable, that happens to be nationally broadcasted. Because I'll tell you right now, casual fans are not going out of their way to watch on Amazon, right? To watch on Peacock. They're not doing that. And when you're putting some of your best games on there, trying to force people over there and they're still not coming, that's an issue. That's a real issue. And I also wish too, and I get it. I get certain teams get ratings. I get it. I understand that. I just wish they would switch it up a little bit. Because if you go through right now and you just look at some of the numbers guys are putting up right now, or just some of the plays guys are doing, and Adam Silver calls it the highlights. You could find highlights of probably 150 players in the league right now and be blown away. Well, it's just rinse and repeat the same players over and over and over and over again. And I get it. I get the NBA is a star-driven league, and the big names pull people in. Well, we're not going to have LeBron and Curry forever. And we got to start finding, some of these new young talents. And I will name drop this guy every episode. I do not care. Jalen Johnson has watched.
Oh, I thought you were going
Jalen Johnson. No, not yet. Jalen Johnson's had 4 straight triple doubles. He's averaging 23, 11, and 9 since Trae Young's been hurt. And the Hawks have been one of the better turnaround teams since that happened. And if you're not an NBA diehard, if you're not in a fantasy league, if you're not betting daily, you just wouldn't know that. You just wouldn't care. And it's one of those things where most people, for a guy like Jalen Johnson, and there's a laundry list. Dunny's another one of them too, Dunny. But there's a laundry list of guys who are putting up crazy numbers this year. And you're probably only just seeing their stats on Twitter. You're not actually watching them play. A perfect example, which is crazy because of how good of a year he's having, Tyrese Maxey's averaging nearly 33 a game. And I guarantee you guys, there's a lot of NBA fans who probably haven't watched more than 1 or 2 Sixers games this year. And VJ Edgecombe's been a great rookie. And Quentin Grimes has been great there. And the Sixers have been a fun team to watch. But if they're not on the easy channels to watch, people aren't going out of their way to watch them. And it's a shame because I think there's a lot of really, really good players. There's a lot of talent that casual fans are just not being able to watch because of how the NBA, scheduling is structured right now.
It's crazy, man. You're so right about that too. It is star driven, but how often do we have the conversations about, the league's never been as talented as
right.
It is right now. So that means there's super talented guys on every team. Even just, and I promise you, this isn't me trying to make it about the Celtics. I think it's relevant that Tatum's obviously, presumably, especially going into the year and when they were deciding what teams were going to play on what network,
right.
They thought Tatum was going to be out for the year. So the Celtics have, a fraction of the national games that they usually do. But, then there's Jaylen Brown. And this is the first time any NBA fan seeing Jaylen Brown as a legit number 1 option, and he's crushing it. But, if you don't live in Massachusetts, you don't really get to see that. Right. So, yeah, and then just obviously all the other guys that you just mentioned, and there's probably a million more that we won't even get to. But, yeah, it's strange. The way our favorite sport's being viewed right now, but last thing on the cup, and then we're going to talk about how crazy the Eastern Conference is. The Knicks will not raise the NBA Cup banner, even though the Lakers and the Bucks both did. And I was hearing that it was an NBA rule that teams had to, and the Knicks did not. So
good
for them, I guess.
Yeah.
They just had to have known they would have got clowned 10x if they had hung
probably
that. Yeah. So probably a smart business.
Yeah, because the Bucks and Lakers have won recently too. The Knicks not. Yeah, you can't.
That was my thought.
Yeah.
So we'll put it next to our championship from this decade, and the Knicks were like, oh, there's too much space up there.
Yeah.
This would stick out like a sore thumb. Keep it on the ground. But congrats to the Knicks. They are a super hot team in the NBA right now. They are playing super well. And that will transition us nicely into the conversation that is, what is the Eastern Conference, guys? Because it's funny, we were joking about the Raptors at one point of this season, and they're still hanging around the top of the East. The Celtics, who I was ready to give up on after 2 weeks, they're still hanging around. They're the 4 seed right now. Jake, I'm sure all three of us, especially yourself, is surprised by where the Cavs are at in this Eastern Conference right now.
Yeah.
But you're staying true to it, that you think they're doing something that maybe faulted them in the past couple of years, is they're maybe not taking the regular season so seriously this year, so they're ready come playoff time.
Well, I don't know anymore because Darius Garland is just not healthy. And I don't understand why he is playing basketball. Even when he got hurt the first time, guys, I think I said on here, like, sit him till January and talk again. Well, they brought him back in the middle of November, and he hasn't sat yet, and he looks hurt every single game, and he is basically a negative of minus 10 to 15 every game, is a sieve defensively. He's 31% from 3 right now. Like, it's bad. So the Cavs I think the Cavs might just be cooked, guys, to be honest. I think they might be broken. And we talked about the Cavs, and I don't need to turn this into a whole big Cavs thing, but we talked about them being a team that wasn't perfectly set together, and the Allen of it all, and wanting to blame Allen. But I also talked about the Garland Mitchell of it all before they ever traded for Donovan Mitchell. And that's where we're at this point, is Garland is now slipped. And if he's hurt and he can't get healthy and they can't play defense, like, what is he doing out there?
Right.
So they're in a tough spot, and they're $22 million over the apron. So they don't really have a lot of options to move forward with.
That's so funny, Jake, because I remember recording shortly after you guys acquired Donovan Mitchell, and you were talking about a big picture. You were excited, but you explained that thought. You were like, hey, I don't know how great that pairing is going to be. I don't know what the defense is going to look like. So that is funny.
Never could have predicted his health. Like, if Garland was healthy,
Of course,
what he brings offensively is special, right? Like, we know that, but he's not. But this toe thing has now been an issue since March. It's December. It's been 9 months of this. So that's like, what's he playing basketball for right now? The Jared Allen of it all, whatever. Like, he is who he is at this point. He's an average overpaid center next to another big. He'd probably be more effective on a team where he wasn't paired next to a guy. Like, if he was a team that played more small ball and he was like just the 5 for a small ball team, would probably be great and effective and do what he needed to do. But the Garland thing's really worrisome, because what do you do? Like, he's been hurt every time they needed him. He's been hurt in his career, basically. He hasn't made it really through a season without getting hurt. So it's tough.
It's crazy, yeah. I still think the Cavs, when we get towards the end of the year, will be the top of this Eastern Conference, or at least top 3. The Detroit Pistons still hold that number 1 spot, guys.
Yeah.
Only 5 losses.
Yeah.
Tell me if you think I'm wrong here. So when we first started talking about the Pistons and all the Duran hype was coming around, and obviously Cade's having another spectacular year, I was thinking they were a little more juggernaut-like than they've continued to win. They only have 5 losses, like I said. They seem a little more mortal to me now. Where are you guys at with the Pistons right now? Do you think that's just because the whole East is staying pretty similar, where there's just like no real like scary team, so that's why they look a little more mortal to me? Or what do you guys see with the Pistons? Do you guys still think they're the favorite to win?
I don't think anything's really changed my opinion on the Pistons. I do think the Knicks might be the favorite now, just the way they've been playing, and I do think they're more talented than the Pistons. But the big thing with Detroit is we saw them kind of make noise and give the Knicks, a hard time with a much less talented roster, right? A much worse roster last year. And Cade took another step forward this year. Like you said, Dunny, Duran's been unbelievable. And it's they started off hot. I don't want to say ahead of schedule, because I think last year they were ahead of schedule, but we talked about how wide open the East is this year. And you don't need to have a team like the previous Eastern Conference champions have had the past 5 years. You just got to be hot at the right time. You just got to play good basketball at the right time to win the East this year because it is that wide open. And the Pistons have been playing the best basketball team above anyone in the East so far this season. So there's really nothing that I look at in Detroit to say they're not going to continue to do that. I mean, they've won 4 straight. Like you said, they're 21-5. They're a team that just looks like they can keep this up. And the way they play, and not only the style they play, but just their athleticism and their youth, leads me to believe that there's not going to be anything to really, I think, has the Pistons falling back or coming back down to earth. I think they are one of the best teams in the East. I think they have one of the best players in the NBA in Cade Cunningham, and they got a lot of young talent around them. And, you know, you look at the vets they have too, right? Harris, Robinson, like these are guys that are just guys that kind of plug and play. They're always going to have roles on whatever NBA team they're on. Maybe they're never going to take over and they're never going to be the best player on the floor, but you know, they have their moments too. They definitely have their moments when they're bad, but they also have their moments when they're great and they're great role players. And when you have a guy like Cade, it's everything just kind of falls into place. And Cade, we ranked him pretty high in our top 100 players, and he's probably only going to keep climbing going into next year. And he's one of those guys where I'm going to put him in that small group of players where if you just have one of those players, everything else kind of falls into place. And it did last year with a much worse roster. The roster's a lot better this year, and they're a lot more confident too. I think the Pistons are kind of playing like, hey, you saw what we did last year. Look at what we're doing now. Like, this wasn't a fluke season. It's no longer, the Pistons aren't that laughing stock of the NBA. Like, we're a legit team. We're a legit contender, and we know we're well aware of how open the East is. We're well aware that Halliburton isn't playing this year. We're well aware that Tatum might not play this year. We're well aware that the Cavs are struggling, and we're not taking our foot off the gas. So I don't think the Pistons have given us any reason to believe that they're not going to continue this. You're muted, Dunny.
Got me.
Classic. Yeah,
Got me.
Once a sewed, man. Once a sewed.
It's been a minute. I feel like I've been doing pretty good, but no, I was gonna say it's funny because you talked about how confidently they're playing this year. It's almost like they're all playing like Isaiah Stewart has their back,
right.
And that's legit. Yeah. Is how it is because Isaiah Stewart is on that team. He's kind of the anchor. I feel like they're all, even the younger guys, are adopting kind of that fuck you attitude that he brings to the game.
Mm-hmm.
You know, every game, just like me, every episode, muting my mic, Stewart's getting into some kind of scrum for the Pistons. So, yeah, I think you're right. They looked a lot scary to me at the beginning of the year. I think just the Celtics maybe getting the best of them for a game, and then they had another close one with them the other night, has me thinking that way. But, yeah, I would still say it's them or the Knicks at this point who's going to run away with it. But it's just... I mean, we talk about how strange it is, and obviously the Pistons and Knicks aren't really the strange part. It's the fact that the Raptors are hanging around. It's the fact that the Milwaukee Bucks are the 10 seed, and we thought they'd still, you know, be able to tread water with Giannis, but now Giannis is out, and there's all the trade rumors, the hot start that the Bulls got out to, and they are... It just gets sadder.
They're going to get the 10 seed probably, though.
Yeah.
They're probably going to somehow get the 10 seed.
The annual Chicago Bulls playing game. If you guys had to pick a team below the 5 seed, and it can't be the Cavs, that could make a run in the playoffs, who would you
below the 5 seed?
5 and below?
I was going to say 5 seeds Orlando. I feel like Orlando's the obvious choice right now.
Yeah.
They're starting to click on all cylinders. Baines looking good. Suggs is finally like a full go. Anthony Black, who I was ready to call a bust, is starting to have a really nice role developing on this team. So I think the Magic's the obvious choice. And then the other one I'd go if we have to go below 5. The Atlanta Hawks.
It's Atlanta.
The Atlanta Hawks. I mean, we're talking about best players in the East. I don't know how many guys I could name above Jalen Johnson anymore, man. And I've always liked Trae Young. I still think they can make it work with Trae Young.
But if
when
they
he
move,
comes
but if they
back-
do decide to move on from him, it's gonna be they'd be well set because they'll get good players
Yes,
back for
absolutely.
him, and then Johnson has shown that he can carry them.
I would say that's an understatement. He can carry him. He's been unbelievable. I mean, it's incredible how good he's been since Trae Young's gone out. And I really like their roster and the players around. Nickeil Alexander-Walker's averaging over 20 points a game.
He's
I mean,
awesome,
he
man.
kind of found it when Trae Young got hurt as well. You still got Porzingis there, right? Akamu's been unbelievable. Dyson Daniels, one of the best, defenders in the NBA, starting to show a little more offensively. And Reese Shea was the first pick last year. Like, this is a team that's just loaded with young talent. So my thing is, you either bring Trae Young back and you have a guy who's potential 25 points, 10 assists per game type of player, and you could still make it work. Like, I'm not going to say they're better without Trae Young. I still think having Trae Young on this team's great. But like Jake said too, you can move Trae Young. Get a bunch of assets, get a bunch of picks, or get some guys that, role players that can work now, because your team has been led by Jalen Johnson with no hesitation at all this past month. And this guy's number, 23, 11, and 9. The only guy above and 3 is Jokic. That's what we're comparing with. He's also
over 50% from the field.
Over 50%, and a great defender.
Yeah.
And a great defender. We talk about it, the way the Thunder emerged, the Pistons emerged. Some of these teams, are built with their defense. And it's like 1 through 5, we can guard you. And I know Trae Young is a cone. Like, don't get me wrong. But, let's not include Trae Young right now. Jalen Johnson, Dyson Daniels, Porzingis, Akanwu, like Reese Shea. These guys, Nickeil Alexander-Walker, these guys are dogs on defense. They got size, they got length. So the Atlanta Hawks, they're already above 500 after the slow start they had. They're turning it around. And like I said, it's in the playoffs. You really need a guy who can carry your team, take over games. I'm looking up and down the list right now in the East. I don't know how many guys I'm taking over Jalen Johnson at this point.
Yeah.
The list is getting shorter and shorter each day.
Easy. Ooh, I actually have one that might be hard off the rip. You taking Scotty over Jalen Johnson?
Jalen Johnson.
No, Jalen Johnson.
Yeah,
Jalen Johnson
I think so, right? Which is crazy.
Point.
That's pretty crazy.
It's crazy, but it's
I know
true.
Right now, today, on December 17th, would you take Paolo or Jalen Johnson?
Jalen Johnson.
Yeah, I think you have to. That's a tough one, but like,
I'd take Jalen Johnson.
I can't. I would look like the fool for saying Paolo right now because of the stats. I do still want to say Paolo.
Paolo's great, and I think the Magic have a much better supporting cast. Franz Wagner, right? Jalen Suggs, Desmond Bane. Now, and I don't want anyone saying this is recency bias. I have been on Jalen Johnson for 3 years. I have been saying this guy is. Like, he's just got to get the value. He's a bona fide superstar. And we're finally starting to see it. And he just impacts the game in so many ways, guys. I think he's a better defender than Paolo. I think he's a better playmaker than Paolo. I think he's a better shooter than Paolo.
Yeah.
So what's Paolo got on him? Size? A little bit of size, maybe? Not really. Not really. Rebounding? Not really. Guys averaging about 12 rebounds a game the past month. The only one ahead of him past month is Jokic. Like, I don't know, man. I don't know.
The only reason that I don't want to do the stat game is because you could kind of say he's the best player in the Eastern Conference if you play the stat game right now.
Yeah, there's still guys who are better scorers than him in the Eastern Conference.
Yeah.
Like Cade still has better numbers than him. Brunson's got better numbers. Donovan Mitchell has better numbers. Jaylen Brown. And I don't think you're taking Johnson over any of those 4 I mentioned.
I was going to ask you. I was curious to see if you guys would take him over Jaylen Brown.
No, I don't think so. If we're talking about at this point, because I still think Brown's a threat to score 40 every night. I still think Jalen Johnson will have some games where I don't want to say he disappears in terms of a primary shooter, but he's a little more passive than some of these guys. Which the way I think he's had 8+ assists in the last 15
that's
games,
what I mean.
something outrageous.
I was gonna say, he's probably already a better playmaker than Jaylen Brown.
He might be. the second best playmaker in the East. Is he?
Cade.
Like, Cade, right? Cade. Maybe. I think Cade. I think Cade's the best playmaker in the East right now. Like, I love Tyrese Maxey, but he's more of a scorer than a playmaker.
Yeah.
Garland can't stay healthy, but I still
Would you
think I take.
would you take
Jalen
Tyrese
Johnson.
or Jalen Johnson?
If Tyrese was healthy, I think he'd be the top guy in this conversation.
I think Tyrese can he can score 50 in a playoff game. Like Tyrese Maxey he pretty much right now is what we wanted Ja
We're talking
Morant
about
we wanted Ja Morant to be.
He said Tyrese, my brain went to Halliburton, who was hurt.
Oh, Halliburton's the best playmaker in the East when healthy.
Yeah.
Halliburton might be the best playmaker in the NBA when healthy.
Wow, Luka Doncic is around. Come
on. Don't act like I don't know Luka Doncic exists.
And that's why that's a crazy thing to say. Like, he's not.
No, Steve, you ever heard of this guy who wears number 77?
I still think Luka's the most complete offensive player. I think he's the best.
Further notice.
I don't hate that take. I think sometimes we discredit how good of a playmaker Tyrese Halliburton is.
No, I just gave him credit while he was not healthy.
No, I know, but I think Luka's the most complete offensive player. Don't get me wrong, but I do think passing. I don't hate putting Halliburton ahead. I really don't.
So there's only really like a handful of names that we take over Jalen Johnson in the East at this point.
Yeah, and I think there's a lot you can debate
argue
at this point, right?
I agree. Yeah, I was
him. Like if it's not just playmaking over him, yeah, it's only like. It's like Brunson, Cade, Jalen, Mitchell,
Giannis when healthy.
Giannis.
Yeah,
that might be it.
Yeah, Maxey, I think you could have a conversation about.
Yeah, I think so.
I think you can have a conversation with Jaylen Brown. I think we all still lean Jaylen Brown, but I wouldn't be shocked.
What Jalen's done this year is like. It's very impressive for him to take on the burden he has and just go through with it. The Celtics, not just Glade Dunny here, the Celtics they've been really impressive, especially after the start of the year. Like Missoula figured out their identity, who they are, how to make his team work. They started getting, and PP started playing better. They started getting some more production from the secondary level guys. Derek White started playing a little better, but it's been impressive. That roster doesn't have it. I mean, who knows with this East? That's why I wanted to have this conversation because like I don't know what to make of 3 through even 10 down to the Bucks once Giannis comes back. I still think Giannis is faking his injury to try to leverage a trade and see what he can do right now, but
maybe not faking, but it's
he's like I'm a sit a little bit.
Yeah, exactly.
Y'all think about it.
Right.
Yeah.
Playing mind games. Did you guys happen to see the latest on the Bucks claiming that they're traded for people and all that?
Oh yeah, they're gonna start pushing the chips in again for Giannis, apparently.
Yeah. So what I saw today is Kuzma's on the market. So they're dangling Kyle Kuzma.
I'm sure teams are lining up the phone lines for him.
But I saw this from the Dunk Central today. The Milwaukee Bucks are doing everything in their power to convince Giannis, or this might have been from yesterday, to stay and have expressed interest in Zach LaVine and Jeremy Grant, as well as players like Andrew Wiggins, Marcus Smart, and DeJounte Murray in the past. One rival general manager I spoke to went so far as to say that the Bucks have convinced him that they're going big game hunting. And I don't believe any of those words.
Never do I. What do the Bucks have to offer to at this point?
Nothing.
Just picks.
They're
really going to sell out.
Big game hunting's going to turn into like Ja Morant or something like that. That's what it's going to end up being, where it's like name, but good luck, Milwaukee.
Could
trade Kevin Porter Jr.
Miles Turner. quick flip.
Dude,
you take him, Dunny. You take him.
Yeah, but I don't know. After this version of Turner we're seeing, I feel like
he went and got his bag. Honestly, good for him, man. Like,
yeah,
good for him.
I thought him, Giannis, and Portis would be like this weird, tough, big 3 guys to deal with. It just nope. Nope. Yeah, so East is strange, guys. Any more thoughts on the East?
That ultimately it doesn't matter because the Nuggets or Thunder are winning the title. So
Yeah.
one of
enough.
these
You
teams.
think it's two at this point? You don't think there's anyone else?
I don't. I mean, I'm not going to say the Lakers. The Spurs probably a little too early. The Rockets are fun,
They are
but I
fun.
just feel like if anybody else, I think it would be the Rockets. But I just think the
I might
Thunder and
have to.
Nuggets are
Would you take Thunder or the Field right now?
Thunder.
I
You
think
going
I would
Field?
too. I think I'd
Oh.
take Thunder as well, which is crazy to say. I'm like a third of the way in the NBA season that we take one team over 29 others. But man,
I might have to quit the podcast after I ask this, but are we not giving the Knicks enough credit? In
I
general,
don't think they could.
not to that specific question. I would take the Thunder over the Knicks.
oh,
The
I
Knicks
mean,
are- if I had to pick today who's making the finals, it would be the Knicks from the East. Like
I think they're the
that they would-
favorites, right?
Yeah,
Aren't they the
that's
betting
kinda
favorites
what I
too?
was-
They
Still
are
to
the
come out
betting
of the
favorites.
East.
And I think that the Pistons, like, we've seen JB Bickerstaff against the Knicks in a playoff series already a couple years ago. Now, Cade is a different animal offensively for what they could do. And they're a better defensive team than that Cavs team was a couple years ago with having to hide Garland as much as anything else. But I just think the Knicks top five, the starting five, if they're all healthy, is too much for any team in the East right now.
Yeah.
But that's why I'm kind of wondering if we should be giving them a little more credit, or just the NBA, landscape as a whole, giving the Knicks more credit, because they're kind of getting to that territory where, like, this version of the Knicks has gone through all the growing pains.
The wars,
they've had
True.
they've had the crazy battles. They've had super loud games at MSG. They've had the celebrities who have never seen this team play this well in the playoffs. They had the battles with Indiana. They got the new coach now. And what you just said about them actually reminds me a lot of the Celtics championship team from 24, where it's like no one's messing with this first five. Like, this first five, pretty untouchable.
and the home thing is real. They're 13-1 at home right now.
Yeah.
Like
You take
if
this-
they are the one seed, you have to go through MSG in the East playoffs. Like that's going to be tough.
You take first five of the Knicks over the first five of OKC?
No,
I don't. I still don't think I do.
I don't know. But just
it'd be, you know what? We need that finals because maybe that would like change some stuff about how they call these fouls in the league, because it would be the most shameless NBA finals ever, watching Brunson and Shea run up and down the court. Like, it would be.
Well, don't forget about Cat.
It would be ridiculous. I try to forget about Cat often, but it would be bad. People would be like, what am I watching right now? And I think people have gotten a little too hard onto those two for it. But I would probably be people too. But it is like,
no, I get
they're
what you're
masters
saying,
of their craft.
I still think watching the Thunder's fun. I really
Yeah, me
do.
too.
I still love watching the
defensively.
Thunder.
They're so much fun no matter what. Like, they
Right.
are so cause such havoc for teams. They're amazing in the fast break.
Mhm.
It's just Shea isolation that really irks people, and
He's
fair.
broken too many
Yeah.
fans' brains, bro. We're in too deep with that.
Well, you know whose fault it is? It's James Harden's fault.
It's James
He's
Harden.
the one who started it, and now the Thunder
and they've rewarded
the
the league has rewarded it for years and years and years,
Right.
because they can. I don't know why, honestly, but like, he's not. It really is clear, like, these guys aren't going up to make shots.
But what frustrates
anymore.
me is that these guys, like, yeah, they're great at foul baiting, and I think to some degree it's a skill. But if you just remove that part of their game, they're still unbelievably elite basketball players.
Yes.
And I hate that people will just be like, I'm one as well. I hate the Shea push off. I hate when James Harden did that step into. I hate when Luka does it. Like, but it's part of the game. It gets called. But the reason that these guys are able to do that, and I have to stress this to every fan who complains and says, oh, they're not that great, it's because the threat that they can do everything else looms. The reason they go for these fakes, the reason they're able to do the contact is because they know they'll just make it if they don't. They'll just fly by you if they don't. Luka will just step back and hit that shot in your face if you don't. Shea will hit every mid-range if you don't get up in this face. Like, that's why they're able to do it. And that's what frustrates me. And I don't want to go on a tangent. I just want to end it here. That's what frustrates me is people are like, oh, it's not fun basketball watching these guys get free throws. It's like, well, the reason that Shea can shoot 10 a game, that Luka can shoot 12 a game, that Harden in his prime was shooting 10 plus a game, is because they were so offensively talented and gifted everywhere else in the court. They were a threat at all points. The only way to defend them would to be up in their face. And what happens when someone guards you up in your face? You're trying to draw contact.
The one other part of it is I've never heard somebody come up with a good fix for it. Like, I've never heard somebody say, what can you do about it? Unless you're going to let the physicality of the game increase to a certain level where you're just not calling as many of these fouls that you're allowed to hack more. You bring back hand checking, whatever it may be. Like, I've never heard a lot of good fixes for it. Like, a lot of them are fouls by nature. Just because he's searching out for them, they're still fouls. Like,
right.
He's getting hacked on a lot of these plays. It's not like it's ticky-tack stuff. Dunny, do you have a fix?
No, I do think part of what you said is the reason that some people are so mad, because I think there's fans out there who hate what SGA does on offense, but also think that the Thunder get away with the physicality that no one else is allowed to get away from.
That is a fair argument.
So they basically think that SGA is double dipping, where he can have it his way, he's going to get all the fouls, and then OKC's defense is going to play a certain style, and they're going to get away with hacking people.
But what?
And I know.
So what? My answer to that is why does the NBA want OKC to be all of a sudden to be like the team?
And I don't feel that way, but I see it. I see that argument.
But maybe they would like. I really wanted like. If the NBA was like conspiring for the Oklahoma City Thunder, like is it just to say like we have this awesome small, like we're not just a big market teams, like only the big markets don't win here, like you can win anywhere in this. Like, I don't understand what the point of it would be.
The NBA, if it was up to the NBA, the Oklahoma City Thunder would be Los Angeles Lakers or Chicago Bulls, or like they don't care about a small market team being like the face dynasty of the league. I just think, to Dunny's point though, there needs to be some consistency, and I will say, that's partly on the refs, where the Oklahoma City Thunder do play very, very physical defense. And there is a loose whistle on that because I think they know that's the style they're going to play coming into the game. Well, you got to be consistent on the other end of the court. And I think, to Dunny's point, people will watch Thunder games and they'll watch their player drive and it looks like he gets mauled, when in reality, maybe you slow it down and it was all ball, right? Or it's just really good, positioning, and they were able to strip you and it looks like he got hacked, but he didn't. And then the other end, Shea runs down, jumps to the side, and you hear the whistle and you're like, he didn't even get touched. And you look at him kind of, jump in the jump back movement. I think there's really no way around it. I think refs just have to go into the game with a game plan and be like, all right, we're calling the game this way. And we're not like letting what one team's, strategy is affect how we call. And the Thunder, maybe they have to adjust too if a game's called a little more, ticky-tack fouls, right? But on the other side of it, if you're someone playing the Thunder and you see them mauling you on one side of the court, you better do the same on the other side of the court.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying just to Shea, but if you're like, hey, they want to play physical basketball, we'll play physical basketball. Because I'll tell you what, if they start calling 1, 2, 3 fouls on you, then they better start calling them on the other side of the court. I know how this works. I know how NBA players just cry and complain to refs the whole game. It's when they don't get the calls is because they're playing lackadaisical defense all game. And then that one time they get hit, they're not going to call it. You got the Thunder. I give the Thunder more credit than any team really in the NBA. They play 48 minutes of pure intensity basketball, no matter who's on the court and no matter what the score is. And one thing I've noticed is when the Thunder are up 30 and their stars aren't playing in the fourth quarter. And most times when that happens with other teams, you see the game kind of end at like maybe it's a 12 to 15 point win, right? Where there was never a sweat they're going to lose it, but they kind of let the backups let the team back in. They're playing just casual. Watch the Oklahoma City Thunder backups play in the fourth quarter.
Run it up.
They're playing like it's game 7 of the NBA Finals, no matter who's on the court. And that's where I have to give the Thunder respect. And I think that's where the Thunder get the respect. And maybe that comes with the whistle respect as well from the league. Because they are playing intense basketball for 48 minutes, no matter what the score is and no matter who's on the court.
Yeah, it's like when coaches told you when you were younger, like you play hard in the sport and the sport will reward you back and good things will happen. That's pretty much what's happening with the Thunder, just at the highest level of their sport and the most dominant version of it, because they do play hard. They get rewarded for it night in, night out, not only for the wins, but just good things happen and they're able to win by more points because they care more. So, yeah, I'm with you. Like, I get people being upset about the SGA thing on the offensive side, but more often than not, when I'm watching the Thunder, I'm amazed or in awe more than I'm upset about what SGA is doing. So, I think we could leave it at that with OKC. Steve, you got 2 blind resumes for us
Two blind resumes. So, I think we start with the first one because I might have to I think we all might have to admit we were wrong here. So player A is averaging 25.6 points a game, 7.3 rebounds a game, 3.2 assists per game. So pretty good numbers, Shooting splits of 49.7, so pretty much 50. 39.9, so 40, 50, 40, and 81% from the free throw line. So 50, 40, 80 shooting splits on 25.6, 7.3, and 3.2 assists. Really, really good numbers. Player B, only 11.4 points a game, 3.4 rebounds, 2.2 assists per game. Shooting splits are fine, 45% from the field, 38% from 3, 78% from the line. Both guys averaging a little over 30 minutes a game. Player A, 32 minutes. Player B, 30 minutes. I want you guys to look, because there's a specific reason why I did this blind resume. Obviously, player A is having a much better season. Much, much better season. But I want you guys to look, try to guess. And then we can go debate who the better basketball player is.
Are they the same position?
Yep.
More or less, yeah.
I think I know who player A might be, and it's only because I tertiarily follow this team. Is it Michael Porter Jr.?
It is Michael Porter Jr.
Okay.
Michael Porter
Okay.
Jr.
I knew he was averaging around 25.
25.6, 7, and 3 on good shooting splits.
Those are great shooting splits, yeah.
He is
Michael Porter Jr.
He's getting
Oh my God, I know who it is.
Yeah, you know.
We are wrong, because I had this exact thought the other day, Steve. It's Cam Johnson.
It's Cam Johnson.
Oh no.
Yeah.
It's Cam Johnson right now.
Oh no.
So, and we were very vocal about this on how we thought it was a great trade for the Nuggets and that this is a guy that you're going to see his best years. You know, he's getting out of Brooklyn. He's going to Denver. You're going to get his best years. Perfect fit for this team. And they're getting rid of Michael Porter Jr. And the Nuggets haven't missed a beat. The Nuggets are still the Nuggets, right? Second best team in the West.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But man, and I know his stats are a little inflated. Brooklyn doesn't have anybody he's able to chuck, but it's not like he's chucking inefficiently. He's having KD type shooting splits.
But for the Nuggets specifically, did they need to do it not as much to get for the Cam Johnson of it all, but because it's really unlocked Jamal Murray again, where they need Murray to be able to put up the shots, or he's the guy I feel like who needs a certain amount of volume to be rolling, and he's had that this year, and he's been awesome.
Sure, but we're also talking that Peyton Watson is playing late game minutes over Cam Johnson. Like it's hard to look at what they're doing right now and say that Cam Johnson is better basketball player than Michael Porter Jr.
Oh yeah, that's tough. Jokic really hated him though. Didn't even call his friend.
No, I don't. He don't like MPJ. And I know his stats are a little inflated in Brooklyn, but the difference is why I wanted to make it a blind resume.
Yeah, no, that's insane.
It's a really good blind resume, but yeah, and I know this isn't what you're saying. This is kind of what Jake was getting at, but yeah, I still feel super great about the trade for the Nuggets, and like I
Yeah.
still think it was a sound decision for all the things that Jake said. MPJ somehow turning into like a cancer in that locker room. His scoring was never really a doubt, but like you mentioned, the shooting splits are impressive though, and that is kind of a thing. Like people were like, "Oh yeah, he can score. He's a volume shooter," but he's doing it efficiently this year.
Efficiently.
Um,
He's got 3 assists a game, Dunny.
yeah,
He's passing the ball.
right.
It was one of those where the reason I did that one is I was thinking about it the other day. I think I was watching a Nuggets game and Cam Johnson was struggling from the field, like mightily struggling. And I was just like, damn, like I haven't really heard much of Cam Johnson. Like I was like, I wonder what he's really been up to. I said, man, his numbers haven't been great. And I was like, oh, I'll check Michael Porter. My guess was like probably 20 points a game on like 40% shooting. I looked, I was going, oh my God. What got into this guy? And I also think too, obviously, a different fit, and the Nuggets are still second in the West. They haven't missed a beat. Jokic and Murray are both playing out of this world. But the difference was quite staggering to me.
Yeah, no, that is very surprising. As soon as Jake sniped MPJ, I was like, "Oh my god, I know exactly who this is." That is crazy. You guys see the Nets,
MPJ's had some crazy some crazy stat lines for the Nets. Like that's the one.
I saw today the Nets might be looking into trying to trade MPJ already.
They should be.
Might as well.
Get highest
they need the
value
tank.
right
I was gonna say this is the best version of MPJ we've ever seen.
Yeah, max out.
So yeah, that's pretty crazy.
They're
That's
too good.
That's a good first.
Honestly, the fact that they have 7 wins already is impressive. Like I would have figured they'd bottom feeder, but that's the Washington Wizards.
Yeah,
maybe forever.
And maybe the Clippers, the way the Clippers are trending, maybe the Clippers are going to be the bottom feeder and feed Oklahoma City.
And feed Oklahoma City, yeah,
that's going to be great.
Yeah.
All right, you guys want to do the second one?
Yes.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. So player A, 19.4 points a game, 6 rebounds, 8.5 assists, so pretty all-around offensive talent. 38% shooting from the field, 28% shooting from 3, 87% from the line. So shooting split's very inefficient, but 19 points, 6 rebounds, almost 9 assists, all around.
Really good free throw
offensive.
shooter, though.
Really good free throw shooter. Player B, 23.5 points per game, 4 rebounds per game, 6.8 assists, 45% from the field, 35% from 3, 90% from the line. So shooting, you're getting a little bit better in player B, averaging more, obviously, because the shooting splits are a little higher. Assists a little more in player A. Player B, though, still a good playmaker. Rebounding, both kind of solid rebounders. I want you guys first to tell me who would you rather have, and then try to guess the players. Dunny's going to get muted twice.
Well, you'd rather have, at least right now, I mean, that's both are not shooting great, though. Like, even 40, I don't like 45.
No, 45.
38's real bad, though. 38's real
really
bad.
What?
I'd take player B.
I think you got to take player B.
Okay.
Because he's gonna throw it in our face. We're gonna want player A once we find out.
No, I don't know. I think this is where the conversation will start. Where I think a lot of people won't think this is comparable. There's one player that you clearly want over the other, but I am on the side of I think player B is probably the guy you want as well going forward. Now, I don't think a lot of NBA fans will agree with that right now, and I don't think a lot of NBA fans know what's going on with player B. And I wanted to put a player C in here too. Player C stats might be worse than player A's, but we're sticking with the 2 for now. So player A, do you have a guess?
Yeah, it's got to be a guard. You're right.
And like 8.5 assists is not.
Is player B James Harden?
Player B is not James Harden.
It's player A James Harden.
Player A is not James Harden.
8.5 assists, bro. Like it's got to be someone obvious. I'm just not thinking of him.
Let me see if I can give you a hint.
Yeah,
8.5 assists. That's really good.
Player A.
And they're knocked down from free throw.
Player A is 24 years old. Player B is 22.
Whoa.
Okay.
Youngsters. 24. Oh.
I don't know.
No, I feel like he's probably older than that. Is player A is not De'Aaron Fox, is it?
Nope.
He's older than that.
Nope.
Um,
No guesses on
Is
player B
player
from either
A-
of you yet.
22.
Is player A LaMelo Ball?
Player A is LaMelo Ball.
Okay.
LaMelo Ball. Look at
We're
Dunny's
working
face.
here. We're working.
38,
He's shooting
28. Yep.
38% from the
That's
field.
what I'm
He's
saying.
sub
That's-
30 from
that's what I'm,
three?
that's what I'm
Boy.
saying,
That is
bro.
so obvious. I
Oh.
should have got that as soon as he told us the
Boy.
ages, dude, with the fucking free throw and the assist.
Player A is LaMelo Ball.
Whoa.
How many shots is he taking a game? That's what I want to know.
17.
Like,
17.3 a game. Shooting 38% and 28%. He's shooting 8.5 threes a game, 28% clip.
Player B isn't Stephon Castle, is it?
No. Stephon Castle's
he's
way too good for this
22.
comparison. Well, actually, Stephon Castle, I mean, you could, I don't consider, I don't know if I consider Stephon
22-year-old.
Castle a true point guard.
Yeah, he's more of like a wing hybrid.
He can be a true point guard, but he feels like a more of like, that hybrid.
Yeah,
guard
if I
player.
have a team, I'd want him to play off ball.
I would say player B to me is a true point guard.
True point guard.
Okay. Is he in
Sucks.
Jazz? Is it Keontae George?
It's Keontae George.
Whoa.
Keontae
What,
George
Jake,
right
you were
now.
on today.
Keontae George right now
Nice.
is
I really just had to look at the
23.
team names and like look up and down for a minute and just remember players. But wow.
Keontae George right now is averaging 23, 4, and 7. And I think we're at the point where you'd rather have Keontae George over LaMelo Ball.
Yeah.
And I don't think there's a
Yeah.
lot of people would call you crazy if you just said that randomly. But I from last year to this year, the sample size, the player C who I wanted to put in, which I think I want Keontae George over, is Ja Morant.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I think LaMelo is more of a conversation than Ja at this point. Like Ja,
I was gonna
It's
guess
crazy.
Ja for player A, but I
Mhm.
figured you wouldn't put him in just because of
Is Ja even
injuries and
scoring
shit.
19?
17,
I don't know if he's that high.
7, I think he's
Yeah, I was
17.
gonna say he's like 16, 17. LaMelo at 19 is like LaMelo should not be under a 20-point scorer in the league. Like, is he trying to get moved out of there? Like,
Well,
that's
dude,
what that tells me.
I
bro.
think
Like,
38% shooting.
38
I
for 28
couldn't
from three
believe
is
it.
brutal.
I mean, build around Colin Knippel. Like, what are we doing, man? Like that is
It might
so
be
bad.
time.
I did not think his shooting splits were that poor.
Knippel
Yeah.
is shooting 47% and 40% from three for
Yeah.
17
Yeah,
points a
Knippel's
game.
He's
been
unbelievable.
great.
19 points a game.
He's been great. Yeah,
Yeah,
but Keontae
wow.
George, I was looking at it of true guards right now, and he might be a top 10 point guard in the NBA.
Yeah, I mean he's great.
I mean, yeah.
I don't watch a lot of the Jazz play, but I like watching all the Jazz Celtics matchups, and then I'll throw them on a league pass because I like Danny's over there now, Danny Ainge, Will Hardy. Shout out Will Hardy, head coach too. But
Right now in play-in, 10 seed.
Keontae George.
And the
man,
Grizzlies are the
overall.
9. I mean,
It's just one of those where, and this is going back to what I said at the beginning of the pod, is there's so much talent in the NBA that no one really knows about because you can't watch it. Keontae George, I think he scored 38 and 39 his last 2 games. No one
Dude,
cares.
I
He's a
literally
great basketball player.
was about to loop it back to the beginning of the show the exact same way you just did that.
Yep.
That was perfect because people don't know who Keontae George is. So I'm sure there's people out there who are either listening or might see this and hear us say that, even after hearing the names, we'd probably take Keontae George over LaMelo right now. people probably want to kill us for hearing that, but they don't. It's
It's
because they
true.
don't know who Keontae George is, and they're
Right.
just going off their precious LaMelo Ball.
And it's not like this is like, just casual box score stat padding. Watch the games. This guy is an
Yeah.
impact player. He's great.
Well, like Jake just said, dude, like they're the 10th seed. What are the Hornets?
No.
The 13?
I think the Hornets are the
Hornets
the
are
12
poverty.
seed at
That's
the
what the
moment.
Hornets are. Hornets are poverty.
Yeah, they're the 12th seed. They're one game up on, or they're half game up on the Nets. But yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know what to do about LaMelo. Like this, he stays being one of the most polarizing players because he has the young audience on his side. Like anyone who's 15 and younger is absolutely obsessed with LaMelo Ball. Yeah, he has the size, he has the athleticism, he can shoot. Obviously, not great this year. That's why the 3-point number is so surprising to me, is because how talented he is and how difficult some of the threes he makes sometimes. But that just shows me that he doesn't care. He's just chucking.
Mm-hmm.
But that's part of it too. And you can blame the Hornets all you want for not trying to trade him to this up until this point, or maybe they've mismanaged the LaMelo situation as a whole. Maybe they shouldn't have been trying to build around him the last 2-3 years. But at the same time, I have no idea what other NBA teams are even willing to offer for a guy like LaMelo Ball. So they could just be stuck in this position,
especially with the contract. Like it's a lot of money.
A lot of money, man. And we're seeing firsthand with a Ja Morant situation when your star point guard, who you already gave a lot of money to, kind of ties you up a little bit and doesn't let you to have all the options in the world. But that is fucking mind blowing, dude. That's my favorite blind resume of the year, I think.
Yeah, that was great.
I love the ones where I'm like, oh my god,
38% on 17 shots a game. Like that's
so bad, dude.
Take the ball out of his hands, bro. Like,
and they've hit on some picks since him. Like Knipple and Brandon Miller are studs.
You can build around them.
Williams has been great despite him wanting to have been traded and hoping that trade would have went through. He's been great too.
Dalton Connect should have stayed, man. He's in the Lakers G League team now.
I know.
That's tough.
Should have stayed at home.
But you never know, because if that trade went through, they probably don't get Ayton. They probably make a different move. Who knows what happens at that point?
Crazy. What a great blind resume. I love that one.
Appreciate it. That one had to give Keontae a shout out.
Cam Johnson was player B in the first one.
Yeah, tough luck for Cam. But hey, all he needs is a couple big playoff moments, and then that's all Nuggets fans are fine with it.
And I wonder what his defensive metrics are compared to what MPJ's were last year. It can't be worse. It can't be worse.
All right, happy hour hoops fans. Your homework until the next pod is to go watch some Keontae George play basketball and decide if you even like the NBA Cup or not, and get back to us because we're not sure. Well, as
the next game,
we're sure that we don't like it.
And if you are thinking you wanting to watch the Jazz, they play the Lakers tomorrow night. So there you go.
Hey. There's an excuse right there. Luka and LeBron, and then you
take the over. Take the over in that game. It's gonna be like 140 to 135. There will be no defense in that game. The Jazz, the Jazz are giving up 126 a game right now.
That's crazy.
Wow. No wonder scoring's up this year. Good God.
Jazz are allowing 126.
Everyone's like, how are so many guys averaging over 20 this year in the NBA? Well,
I think that's how teams have decided they're gonna, get these guys through full years now. They're like, well, we're just not gonna play defense for half of our games. We'll figure it out.
There's only one team that's worse in defense than the Jazz, and you guessed it, it's the Washington Wizards at 126.7.
Well, I don't know. We might need to take the franchise from Washington and just sit them down and
what do you bullets again?
What do the Wizards do? Like, how do you?
What do they do?
They're supposed to make magic, and they don't. They don't in Washington.
They show up and just get their ass kicked for 48 minutes and go home. That's what the Wizards do.
Like, I'm sorry. I love CJ. I'm looking at their stats now. CJ McCollum shouldn't be playing 30 minutes for any team in the NBA this year. Like, and he's just rocking it out.
Sarr's been good though. Really good second year for Sarr.
Sarr is good.
Sean George has had a nice little year. So, some positivity.
Some positive stuff there.
Yeah,
this is
crazy.
Yeah.
All right, I'm
the
gonna
Cavs almost lost them a couple weeks ago, and you guys would have heard from me. It was a 4-point win last Friday night.
Oh,
I'm sitting at home Friday. I'm off of work. I'm like, let me delve into this Cavs game and enjoy this. And I did not enjoy a second.
They had to come back too, right?
Yeah, they were down by double digits in the second half. Yeah. You guys. That's why I came into this podcast. Like, the Cavs are cooked. I watched that game. I'm like, yeah, see, we're done here. Then they lost to the Hornets on Sunday.
Oh,
so yeah.
That's a smelly loss, Jake.
Yeah, it was at home.
I'll do you one pretty bad though too. The Celtics last Thursday lost to the Bucks without Giannis, and then later, it must have been over the weekend, that same Bucks team without Giannis got pieced by like 45 by the Nets. I was like, well, that's just gonna put a sour taste in my mouth all week.
That's why also bringing it back around. That's why we needed to figure out what's going on in the East, because and I don't think we figured anything. I think we figured out that we're gonna all pick the Knicks to make the finals and just go from there.
Yeah,
so
and then somehow the Magic probably will.
Yeah,
I've only confused myself more. That's all I know about the East.
Yeah, didn't figure.
Don't make me sprinkle on the Hawks. I'll do it. I will sprinkle the Hawks.
Surprised you haven't already.
Yeah, I know I am too.
Oh, you know what we need to do next week, and this is good for the listeners to look out for too. Because we talked about at the beginning of the year, we're gonna keep our own most improved player rankings throughout the year. So we should all come with a.
Yeah.
We talked about Steve's favorite a lot on this show, so I also think he'd probably be the winner for me, but there's a lot of good names out there, so we'll do that next week. We'll do a check-in, but I do want to end the show with this, guys.
Yes.
Did you guys see the Lakers technical free throw controversy?
Yeah, I mean,
let me ask first. If you were the coach and in a magical world where LeBron would actually listen to you guys, if you were his coach, and you had the choice, and you had to pick one guy. Just beginning of the season, like Redick said, you guys are taking Luka to take that shot, right?
Yeah, you're taking Luka, but I also don't think it's like
a big deal,
worth getting a big deal over. It's not like Luka's like automatic Steph Curry free throw. Like Luka shoots 80%. Like, he's solid. And my favorite is the people like, why didn't Reeves shoot? Reeves wasn't playing. That's why it's not a highlight league. Watch the game. Don't start crying. Why is it Reeves? Because Reeves is shooting that, and LeBron and Luka will both give that to Reeves. But I think people are making a bigger deal of it than it needs to be. I think LeBron's explanation was fine, and I think Luka's kind of the same way. If Luka was right there, he would have just walked up, taken the shot. That's just his mentality.
See, I
they
think
won the game too, so who cares?
I think Redick's comments are why people are making it weird. I think he made it weird.
I do too. Right.
Yeah.
And I think people are blowing that out of proportion.
But JJ's always got to walk a fine line. Like, he's dealing with a lot of egos.
No, I get it,
100%.
Yeah, that's why I don't think it's the easiest decision, and I'm sure I'm sure he did say at the beginning of the year, "Hey, Luka's gonna shoot those in that situation." That went right through LeBron's ear and out the other, bro. He was like, "Yeah, all right."
But I also don't think it's a huge deal, and I don't think LeBron and Luka care that much. I think it's the rest of the world. No.
Yeah, no, I honestly think that JJ saying what he said was the only weird. Like, he should have gone to that press conference, been like, LeBron can shoot it, Luka can shoot it. They're both Hall of Famers. Move on.
Yeah. Like, I know LeBron's struggling from free throws this year, but how many times has he made clutch free throws, right? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, no, it was crazy.
And also, like, this problem's fixed when Reeves plays, he shoots. Like, problem solved.
Yeah. You're 90-something% free throw shooter.
Is he 90? He's probably right around.
I think he's 89 or something. Yeah, he was near 90.
Yeah, he's
close.
Free throw.
It's like the 2K announcers.
LeBron's at like 60 or something right now. That's the biggest thing. It's like not that LeBron has any self-awareness, but it would be nice once in a while.
Fair.
I'm doing a blind resume next week with just free throw percentages.
Oh,
Please.
No, I joke. All right, guys, that's gonna do it for Happy Hour Hoops, presented by Trainwreck Sports. For Steve, Jake, and myself, we will see you guys next week. Go follow at Happy Hour Hoops 1 on all socials, and subscribe to the Trainwreck Sports YouTube. Later, guys.